Here.
Harris. Kennedy. Lee. McGlashan. Natoli. Peters. Cerna. Starsky.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Larry, would you like to do the pledge for us?
I will be happy to do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry. Air Pollution Control Officer Larry, not Director Larry. Yeah. Read the statement, please, Madam Clerk.
This meeting of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District is cablecast live without interruption on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse. This meeting is being closed captioned and will be webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Today's meeting will be repeated on Sunday, May 29th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. Members of the audience wishing to address the board may fill out a speaker form located on the table at the back of the chambers and give it to the clerk. Please speak into the microphone when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Also, at this time, please silence your cell phones until the conclusion of today's meeting.
Thank you. Please call the first item.
First item is the consent calendar, items 1 through 6.
Do any directors have comments on this? I don't have anyone signed up to speak. No?
Move the item.
Second.
Okay. Do we have a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Item passes.
Next item is a public hearing, item number 7. Conduct a public hearing on the fiscal year 16-17 budget and, upon closing the hearing, adopt a resolution 1, approving the fiscal year 16-17 Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District budget, and 2, authorizing a consumer price index adjustment of 1.1% for Rule 304 plan fees for naturally occurring asbestos and Rule 205 community bank and priority reserve bank renewal fees for emission reduction credit loans. It's a mouthful.
Okay, good morning, Chair Hansen and board members. My name is Jamil Moons. I'm the Administrative Services Manager for the district. It's my pleasure to go over the proposed budget with you again this morning. My presentation will be fairly brief, as we were here a month ago talking about the details of it, so I will go through it rather quickly, but be happy to answer any detailed questions you may have. A lot of the details were in the board report itself in the budget document that was presented to you. So I will go, just a quick reminder of the budget process, what we've done to get here. Highlight the fees that we are requesting the adjustment on this time around, and the proposed budget, primarily the changes to that from what we presented to you last month. Go over the district budget at a very high level, and then allow some time for discussion on the budget itself. So the budget process, very quickly, is around mid-year in December and through January and February. We pull together all of our financials that help us meet the needs of the district and meet our priorities. It is a balanced budget. We bring the financials to the subcommittee of the board in March, and they reviewed that and then moved that forward to the full board. Last month we were here as part of the first public hearing requirement on April 28th and went through that budget in quite a bit of detail. And we're back here this morning for the second public hearing. We post all this material on our website at www.airquality.org. The budget is up there, the proposed fee schedule, as well as all of our year-end financial information is posted there. Regarding the fee adjustment, there are only a couple of fees that we are looking to adjust at this time for your approval. They are related to Rule 304 and Rule 205. The rules themselves allow for a cost of living adjustment, and we use a CPI adjustment of this year it was 1.1%. So we are looking to adjust those. I believe they are on page 3 of the attached fee schedule. All the other fees in that attachment have already been approved. It's just the full schedule that we provide and make available. The changes that occurred to the budget document from last month to this month are primarily organizational in nature. The financials themselves, what we are requesting for fiscal year 17, did not change. They're exactly the same. What we did do, though, is reorganize the documents in some of the sections so that it would flow better and we think read better and give you the background that you need. We also refined the 5-year forecast based on what we project things to be. That's all future. We had some more information, so we made those adjustments. In addition, we added a section on performance measures and reorganized sort of our accomplishment section. We also updated the pay schedule in the staff section of the budget to reflect a 2.1% COLA. The original one was 2.0. The final one came in at 2.1. Very minor adjustment, but we made that to reflect that accuracy. Otherwise, they were just minor edits and narratives, wordsmithing, formatting changes for page layouts. Here are the financials for the overall budget. We are looking at a $49.4 million consolidated budget. The primary change is in the operating fund at $1.6 million, 2/3 of which is capital expenditures to fund our air monitoring rehabs and our systems integration project, which I'll be sharing a little more of those details with you here in the next presentation. Additionally, in our emission technology fund, it's a $12 million increase. Just a reminder, that's 100% pass-through for our incentive programs. There are no operating costs, staffing costs, any of that in that budget. It's purely incentive contract funds that go out, and we had a $10 million shift from the current budget year. We thought grants were going to be recognized this year, but they're coming in after July 1st, so we moved that into next fiscal year, and that's what's reflected in that large amount of $12 million. This is the actual budget that you would be approving today. This is in the resolution. This is the format that we deliver it into our financial system, into the county to post it. It's done by object level, so you can see how it is broken down, and those three totals total back to that $49 million. Finally, I would like to take just 30 seconds to thank the staff of the district. As you know, pulling together a budget is a lot of work on a lot of people's part. Looking at the financials, looking at efficiencies, doing those projections in and of itself is a lot. But then we ask that they actually make some changes, that we do some forecasting. We have a much more robust 5-year forecast. We did a lot of tables and charts to make it more readable, to see some trending, both historical and out into the outlook. We added performance measures to hold ourselves accountable and identify what key measures we really want to look at and hold ourselves accountable to. All that was pulled into this budget this time, so I want to thank the budget team. I want to thank all the staff in the organization for working with us to pull that together, and we think we've delivered a very digestible and understandable budget, so I want to thank the district staff for that. And at this time, I'd like to ask the board to close the public hearing and adopt a resolution approving the budget, which would become our approved FY17 final budget, and the fee adjustments for the 1.1% CPI that I mentioned. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Director McGlashan.
Well, this says the microphone is on, but it it's plugged into the wrong.
There you go.
Now it's on? Okay, thank you. I have a question on page 3 of attachment 1. I just want to know, what is a personal air monitor?
Okay, I'll answer
And
that.
can we each get one, or how does that work?
Just like with everything else in the world, you've seen our big air monitoring stations. Well, we're now having an effort across the nation to miniaturize those and actually make personal monitors so people could plug them into their iPhone or even have a separate thing for $100, $200 to take and see what the air pollution is. They're fairly good for particulates. They're not great for ozone, but because these are out there, people are buying them and calling into us and saying, here's the air quality where we have. So we have this conversation going on. What we're going to be doing with those in our district is we have a program down in some of our disadvantaged areas where we're going to be looking at wood smoke impacts over the next winter and really trying to compare and see how impactful, if there's more impact on our EJ areas than not. So we have some personal air monitors coming in for that. But that's what a personal air monitor is. It really is one. They're getting better.
Are they, how accurate are?
Well, we can do a presentation on those later on for the board, but it's really fascinating movement, and we've talked a lot about that in the air quality community, about these coming out, like, well, we got to stay ahead of this kind of a thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other directors punched up to speak, so if somebody wants to seize the day.
Do you want to close the public hearing on it?
Yeah, we have no.
Okay, I will close the public hearing on it.
Then I'll move the item.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Next item is the staff report. Item number 8, adopt a resolution authorizing the Executive Director, Air Pollution Control Officer, to execute agreements for the purchase and implementation of an enterprise resource planning solution in an amount not to exceed $500,000.
Okay, thank you very much. This presentation is to remind us all of the project, the systems integration project we have going, and ask for your approval to execute a contract with the next step of this process, which is with our ERP solution. So I will give us an update on those projects that are underway. There's 4 major projects, the timelines behind those, quickly the financial considerations of this project, and then the request for the contracting authority to move forward. As a quick reminder, we are going to be launching a new public website as well as an intranet for the district. We do not currently have an intranet, and it's going to be a great tool for staff to work and collaborate together on documents and share information. As part of that, we are moving the board agenda, so the impact on this board is also that right now we post our items on the public website, which we will continue to do, but it will be a different engine running it. We've contracted with a different firm, and there will be a lot more functionality, huge efficiencies internally for staff to route those in an automated way, collaborate on our documents, and the board will also have access to that material electronically on tablets, phones, desktops, all of that. So we'll share more about that, but we hope to be live with that at the July board meeting. The next piece of the process is the communication system. It's a smaller project. We are anticipating implementing that in the fall. It's just to allow better collaboration internally with staff, webinars, instant messaging, a lot more communication tools, primarily internally, but also externally with partners if we want to do webinars and deal with them rather than getting in our cars and driving to their offices. So we're looking forward to that. The next one is the ERP system, our enterprise financial system. This is the item that we're here today to speak to you about. The RFP is out, and we are hoping to get that closed and implemented by the fall of next year. So we expect to be at that for about 12 to 18 months. It's a pretty good-sized project. And finally, concurrently, we also have an RFP out for our line of business solution. That closes in mid-June. And that we anticipate to take a couple of years to get in and running. These are the financial implications to each of these pieces of the project, and we are underway already with the public website. We have that contract executed and are working on that. Again, we hope to be live with the public website this summer. And you can see the different cost implications. The enterprise financial system, we do not have those RFPs in yet, so this is really a rough order of magnitude, which is why I have ROM up there. We really don't know until we get those proposals in for the line of business or for the ERP, but these are estimates. We've been working with consultants to give us an idea of what it might be, and we're hoping that we're pretty close to the ballpark here. In addition to the solutions themselves and the implementation services, we have also enlisted some additional consulting support. The first one is project management. The board has already authorized and approved that contract. We have that firm, Graviton, on board with their project manager. It has been a great support to our process. Very experienced staff have kept us on track, helping to move these projects through. In addition, we have closed RFP for a financial consultant, and Why we are looking for that is our current process is very paper intensive, a lot of Excel spreadsheets, very limited functionality in an enterprise system. We do not have that expertise on staff, and the reason that most of these fail is because they don't do a proper requirements. We don't do the work up front to really identify the current process and then what we want it to be, so the as is to the to be. So we're looking to get a financial consultant to come on, look at how we do it, look at our grant structure. We have many different funding streams that we have to keep very precise track of and allocation of those. So we're looking to get an expert that both understands the financial makeup as well as the enterprise system, so they can help us map over. And so we would look to enlist their services. That is within the contracting authority of our APCO, so I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It won't come to the board for authorization, but wanted to let you know that that's part of the process, and we think that's a very important piece, just like the project management has been a very important piece for our success in this implementation. So what we are asking for today is your authorization to go ahead and execute a contract not to exceed $500,000. We thought the board report actually says that we're in the midst of reviewing them because that was supposed to close on May 23rd. However, we had some late requests at the end of last week from some very qualified firms to ask. They just had been made aware of the RFP, so we did extend that to June 1st. So we do not know with whom we will execute that contract, but we know it will be one of the successful respondents, and we would like to authorize us to not exceed $500,000 so we can keep that project moving, as this board does not meet again until the end of July. Again, as I mentioned, the line of business closes in mid-June, but we will be back to you at the July board meeting, or the August one, with that contract. We will know who the vendor is, we will know the specific amount, and we will bring that to you for approval. The last piece is the district's MOU. Probably in the fall, we are working very closely with the Auditor Controller's Office at the county to look at how our ERP implementation will affect our current relationship. They have a treasury function they do for us now. They have our payables function they do now. So as we move into the new ERP, how will that affect our current relationship? And we have an MOU, and that will need to be modified. And they've been very gracious, very helpful in helping us work to a better solution for the district. So I'm grateful to the county office as well for that. Lastly, again, the two other agreements that we will be executing is for the Skype for Business, the communications piece, and the ERP finance consultant, which I just mentioned. So with that, I would ask that you would approve this item to allow us to execute an agreement with whomever is the successful bidder for the ERP solution. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jamil. We don't have any directors signed up to speak. Without any questions, I'd look to somebody to make a motion.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous vote. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk.
Next item is number 9, adopt a resolution authorizing the Executive Director, Air Pollution Control Officer to allocate up to $1,610,000 in $2 Department of Motor Vehicle registration funds, AB 923, for the Sacramento Zero Emission School Bus Deployment Project.
Great, welcome.
If I could take 1 second, Tim, just to thank you and the staff and everyone who's worked on this. It is incredibly difficult to move these projects through the process of understanding what the state is asking us to do to apply for them, and then to put the team together to do that and make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. And our staff worked very hard in getting to this point and getting this project here. But we also had many partners that worked. Now, I'm sure Tim will mention some of those today, and we actually have some in the room here. So we're very proud that we've gotten to this point, and I think you'll see that we're really doing some good work here for our cities and county.
Thank you, Tim. Hold on 1 second. Director Starsky has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Larry, my understanding is this is the biggest project in the U.S., is that right? For this type of a...
You're spoiling the last slide, Director Starsky.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's called thunder.
All right, Tim.
Sorry.
Yeah. Read my staff report.
Go to bat.
Chair Hansen, members of the board, I'm Tim Taylor. I'm a division manager at the Air District, here today to talk about the Sacramento Zero Emission School Bus Commercial Deployment Project, which would otherwise be known as the Electric School Bus Project. We will be presenting this information to you so you know a little bit about the project, and then we'll be asking you to authorize us to use $1.61 million for matching against a $7.5 million grant from the Air Resources Board. Just a little bit of background. As I just said, the Air Resources Board grant tentatively offered to us is at $7.5 million. The grant at this point is tentative based on the fact that the Air Resources Board has indicated to us that they will approve the budget at their June 19th board meeting, and at that point they would then be able to make the official offer to us. Oh, by the way, this photograph is a photograph of one of the two classes of vehicles. These are the larger Class C electric school buses made by a company called Elion. The goals of the project are, obviously from the Air District's perspective, we're talking about zero emission vehicles, so we're talking about zero tailpipe emissions. In fact, because we have been working with SMUD and SMUD has authorized us to use Greenergy, we were also talking about zero greenhouse gas emissions. These are 100% renewable electricity for fueling these vehicles. We will be demonstrating, or the school districts will be demonstrating, the commercial viability of this type of technology. It's a new technology in this kind of a weight class. We will, of course, be accelerating the introduction of heavy-duty electric vehicles into the vehicle population. The project elements: Elk Grove School District would be getting 10 of electric buses, Sacramento City School District 3, and Twin Rivers 16. Of course, the school districts have to buy the buses. They have to acquire the electric charging equipment, which is abbreviated EVSE. They have to then do all the work to get those buses installed. They have to do all the work to make sure that all the different folks that will be affected, from the maintenance folks to the drivers to the dispatchers, all need to be completely up to speed on how to make this technology work in their operations. There's also a fairly significant data collection and analysis component to this. That's actually part of what will happen with the Air Resources Board. The school districts will be collecting some of the information. Telematic equipment on the buses will be collecting a lot of very detailed information, and all of that will be used by the Air Resources Board to do a lot of analytical work that's not part of what we have to do at the Air District, but part of what will be a part of the overall program from the Air Resources Board's perspective. Today we have several of the transportation managers that will be actually implementing these technologies here, and they didn't follow my instructions. I told them to come sit down in front as soon as the item was called, but here we go. The first transportation manager is Jill Gallardo. She's with the Elk Grove School District.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me here. I'm Jill Gallardo, as you said, the director for Elk Grove Unified. I'm sure most of you are fairly familiar with Elk Grove, but let me share a little bit about us. We are the 5th largest district in California. We are the largest in Northern California, and we are a rapid growth district, as some of you may know. We service 63,000 students currently. We will be opening 2 more schools in 2017 and plans for 52 more schools in the next 20 years. A lot of people hear Elk Grove and they think Elk Grove. We are actually 320 square miles and service 1/3 of Sacramento County, so you see us everywhere. We're a very diverse district, both in our student population and in our surroundings. We have the urban areas and we have very rural areas that we service where there are no other options for students to get to school. We currently are the largest transportation fleet in Northern California, and quite frankly, I think we have the finest fleet in Northern California, and I would put us up against most of the state. A lot of that has been from our partnership with our air quality district. We embraced alternative fuels over 20 years ago. I will tell you that I still have a little bit of what I call the carcass from the first electric bus that was, again, over 20 years ago. We have been through compressed natural gas. We are the first district to operate propane buses, and we are very much embracing and looking forward to helping everyone learn this learning curve on electric buses. We especially appreciate that the funds will be directed at some of our disadvantaged areas where I think these buses will work very well for us in short distances. Our district traveled 2.8 million miles last year. I have about 200 buses, and we transport 10,000 kids every day. We know that the National Highway Traffic Safety has said there is no safer way for kids to get to school than a California school bus specifically. We also know that every one of these buses is going to take 30, 40, 50 cars off the road. It will be a tremendous assistance to our student safety, our traffic, especially at our school sites, and the clean air for both our kids and our community. So we very much embrace this partnership. I will tell you that this partnership has helped us get those first CNG buses. Our CNG tank used to belong to the Atlanta Olympics. This partnership helped us get that CNG station. It also is helping us currently now with some propane buses. What the incentives do is just give districts that extra little push to look into alternative fuels. It is especially challenging for a smaller district where they don't have the backup for other buses to be able to do this sometimes. And the training and maintenance can sometimes look a little bit overwhelming to learn. So just knowing that this partnership really does make the difference. It makes us a little more willing to try something new, and we really hope to continue to be a leader to our neighboring districts and assist in those programs. I hope that we will continue to find some new partnerships, and we're very excited to be part of this electric program.
Thank you. Do we have Ron Hill next?
Ron Hill, actually,
Mr. Carr has a question. Hold on one second.
Jill?
Yes.
Jill? Looks like you have a question.
Do you know the schools that you expect to serve with these buses?
Currently, and part of the plan was looking at our disadvantaged areas. Very strange, and I apologize, the little strange part about transportation in California, the state does not support school transportation. Nationally, the average of kids that ride school buses is about 57%. In California, it's about 15%. They actually established our funding based on the number of students we had in the mid-1980s. Elk Grove is the poster child for why that doesn't work. It's never been addressed since then in 30 years. So we're still funded when I think we had about 14,000 students at the time. Many of our neighboring districts, for instance, San Juan, who's also in your area, does not provide any regular ed transportation any longer. And it's really based on that lack of funding. It is really disappointing because we all have the same clean air goals and safety goals. Elk Grove at that time, about 2005, we cut a lot of service. It's classroom dollars, and so when we're battling and things were very ugly for schools, we got to keep money in the classroom. We also all know that if they can't get there, I can have the best educational plan possible, but if they can't get there, it doesn't do them any good. So we really are looking at focusing in the disadvantaged area that I'm looking at personally is around our Stockton, Florin Road area. There is currently not any service to the high schools. We had a group from Florin High in particular last week come to our board meeting, and they are feeling like it is impacting their attendance rate, the lack of service. So we're looking at those areas. In our plans, we specifically also put the elementary schools that are right in that area. There are sidewalks, there are lights, but there are some other environmental challenges for those kids to get to school. And so we're really looking at those where they're kind of small distance, and we can run kids back and forth fairly easily.
So you haven't selected the exact schools that you're going to serve yet?
We did in the program, and I apologize, I'm sitting here thinking about the groups. I know it was Kennedy, I believe Kirchgater, Florin Elementary, so kind of all in that general vicinity is what we were looking at. Some of these we'll use for special ed. 3/4 of our routes are special needs routes, and those kids could go anywhere. So it may not be exactly where they live where we're picking them up because they go to programs in other areas, but we're definitely looking in that urban core of Sacramento portion.
Where could I find the exact list of schools that are going to be served?
And I believe in the routes, because we actually did the routes for the applications.
So Tim may be able to get it for us.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to bring it up right now. We can supply
Yeah.
these.
Yeah.
If I could get that, I'd like to take a
And
look
the
at it.
rest of the board
Thank
may
you.
want to see the other schools for the rest of the other 2 districts as well.
Right. And I should tell you, every bus we have services multiple schools. We try to stagger our times a little bit. So a bus will do a high school in the morning and drop them off, and then they'll run and do a elementary or a middle school. And so, and again, we are a year-round multi-track district. We don't end. So we are one of the districts that will be running all summer. And some of this will be based on air conditioning. My special needs kids in the summer require air conditioning, so that will impact exactly where we locate them also. So this will be a little bit of a learning curve for us to figure out where it works perfect too.
All right, thank you, Jill.
You bet.
We do have the actual application here, but we'll make the information available to everybody after the board meeting.
Great.
And I thought it was kind of too bad that she had to say carcass of the first electric bus. I just wanted to make it real clear that the technology is dramatically better today than it was 20 years ago, for heavy duty especially. Well, for all of them, actually. We did invite Ron Hill. He couldn't be here today. He wanted to talk a little bit about just to talk about the interest that he had in both serving disadvantaged communities, but also in the fact that he was looking forward to the way that the technology would be introduced, that his technicians would be trained, and that the technology he felt confident would work effectively in his school district and in his maintenance operation.
Just one question on that, Tim. I noticed that the breakdown of what the districts were getting wasn't necessarily proportional to size. Can you explain the ratio? Sac City is a very large school district, as Elk Grove is, but and Twin Rivers is acquiring the most, and nobody would doubt that there's a disadvantaged community there. But can you explain the difference in numbers of
Absolutely.
buses?
Sure. First of all, the opportunity was made available to every school district, basically in the SACOG footprint. The school districts were the ones who chose to step forward and say they wanted to participate, and to say at what level they wanted to participate. We didn't dictate that to them. We simply dictated basically the amount that we could make available for each of the different sizes of vehicles. And if it was outside of Sacramento County, because the dollars that we're talking about, matching dollars, are in fact registration surcharge dollars from vehicles in Sacramento County, the challenge to school districts outside was that they needed to go to their air districts to get the matching funds. So the the 3 school districts that chose to respond were the 3 that are listed, and they chose to respond at that level.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with the size of the district or anything that we did to limit their capacity to apply.
And if this is successful, do you see a scaling up of this effort through the district or through some other mechanism?
Well, we have currently an EPA grant application out right now that has 5 electric school buses in it. We will know probably in a month or 2 whether we actually receive that, and at that level. Traditionally, the EPA scales you back on everything you ask for. And then...
That's just life.
That's life, yes. And then the level of enthusiasm, although not reflected in the audience by anybody here from the Air Resources Board, well, I shouldn't say that, of course we have one on the dais, but the staff at the Air Resources Board, I should say, is extremely excited about this, and the sort of the preview that Director Starsky gave us about the size of this project relative to anything else in the United States with school buses, electric school buses, is something that they're extremely excited about. There's nothing that helps you with the next application better than a successful previous application, and we certainly have heard noises of that sort. I mean, nobody guarantees you anything, but I do think, yes, we will in fact see it. And in the next presentation from Twin Rivers, the next person who was going to talk is Tim Shannon, the transportation director from Twin Rivers, and one of the items that he will talk about will help sort of tease a little bit of information relative to that question.
Great. Welcome, Tim.
Let's see. Let's give you that slide.
Well, I do appreciate and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm Tim Shannon, Director of Transportation for Twin Rivers. We're not as big as Jill's district. We're about half the size. We're 127 square miles. We have approximately 30,000 kids going to our district. We transport a little over 5,000 every day. We do have about 38% regular ed students that we transport because they would probably not get to school if we didn't transport them. Almost all our routes are entirely within the disadvantaged community that we're going to service because we have a huge footprint on that map. So we will be trying to basically educate the community on this technology and give kids the opportunity to learn about this technology. One of the other things we're going to do, since we are getting 16 school buses, is we're going to have a loaner bus. And that loaner bus, we will reach out to like Robles School District that actually has a footprint within our district and loan them the bus because they're interested in that technology. We are also going to share out to Center in adjoining districts around us so that they can preview this technology and realize that it is viable for them, and so that they'll get involved in it. Our school board is committed to creating basically a complete alternative fuel type system. We're going to be building a brand new facility within the next few years that will be focused on alternative fuels and on a share kind of system for the public also.
Great. Mr. Carr.
Tim, what's the range of these buses?
The range is, some of them that we're getting go 70 miles a day, some of them can go up to 100 miles a day, but typically a school bus route within our district in the disadvantaged areas is 25 to 30 miles in the morning and 25 to 30 miles in the afternoon. So what we plan to do is just operate them, charge them and during the night on non-peak hours, and be ready to go in the morning.
And the loaner buses would have to come back to the garage?
They would, but we're looking at finding some sources for these other school districts to put in a charger so that they can be ready when after they get one of these loaners, because we know that once they start using these buses, they're going to want more.
I like it.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'd just like to say, we thought that the Air Resources Board had thrown us a real curve with this issue of the loaner bus, but Tim obviously stepped up in a really big way, and you can hear how he's already trying to solve the problem for other school districts to be able to use these buses, which we think will really help accelerate the interest in it. And then if we can manage to figure out how to get the Air Resources Board, not that I'm trying to lobby for that, to find the funding, we'd like to do a lot more. So summarizing, the Air Resources Board has tentatively offered us $7.5 million. We're asking the board to authorize $1.61 million as match against that and against the cash that the school districts are putting up against that. Spoiler alert, it will be the largest electric school bus project.
I already apologized to you.
It will be the largest electric school bus project in the United States with your authorization of the match and the Air Resources Board's grant to us.
Because Director Starsky was able to read the presentation, I think he's probably most in line to make a motion.
I would be happy to. I think this is very cool, so I'm going to move the resolution.
I think it's awesome too, so I'll second. And congrats on the good work. All in favor?
Oh, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Guerra.
Yeah, sorry.
We were getting excited over here.
Yes, I know you were. I just had a couple comments here now that you're done with the presentation. One, I think it's fantastic that the Air Quality Management District is moving on this. The state does have a 1.5 million goal of zero-emission vehicles, and the fact that we're making that movement on the school bus route is great. The other thing I'd like to think, particularly with the school district that has 16 zero-emission heavy-duty vehicles that we're going to be looking at, not for this, but start thinking about, well, what does this mean with self-generation? What does this mean with SMUD? About the concept of energy storage. The idea of having large heavy-duty EVs is that they also can provide that balance. I know there are some companies like BYD that have looked at the combination of self-generation, energy storage, and it being as a transportation vehicle. So if there are ways that we can use this future grant to try to leverage ourselves for future grants, on energy storage side, this would be beneficial because in 2020, the state also has a 1.3 gigawatt requirement to get on the energy storage side. So as we get closer to that date, I think that we might, through this process, be able to also leverage our other grants. So with that,
Could I just respond to that really quickly? And that is, there is an element of that in this. It's not part of what we're doing as a part of the grant, but the company that is the vendor of these buses is in fact literally doing exactly what you're talking about in cooperation with.
oh, fantastic. Good. Thank you.
All right. One more comment from Director Starsky.
Just, I think Director Guerrero adds a great point, and I think we should look at the storage issue, and several companies that I'm aware of and know their involvement, Train, Tesla, and Negawatt Assets is working together to form that type of thing. Once the energy is produced, how we can store it for longer periods of time. So I think it's a great point that we'll have all this stuff, but then storing this energy that we can generate is going to be critically important. So
SMUD has a number of large arrays too. Even the Army Depot's got a large array. So this could be a place where there multiple generation and storage could work. So yeah, thank you.
Great. Mr. Air Pollution Control Officer, do you want to say something? You lean forward.
No.
Okay. Well, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Passes unanimously. Congratulations. Enjoy the buses. I hope they're Teslas. So they're made in California.
Next item is item number 10, adopt a resolution approving a publicly available pay schedule for fiscal year 16-17 as required by California Code of Regulations, Title II, Section 570.5.
So this just has to be approved separate from the budget by state law. So all we need is a motion and a second on this.
All right. I don't see anyone punch up to speak. Directors?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. And that, barring any other comments from the board, will conclude our meeting. Thank you. Our meeting is adjourned.